What if I told you that British policy is quietly changing, not because of Labour, not because of the Conservatives, but because people inside the system are finally admitting something big, that they got it wrong. And that administration might reshape UK policy faster than anyone expected. Right now, two political stories are dominating the headlines. One, a former senior Conservative figure joining Reform, and two, Andy Burnham's being blocked from standing in the Gorton by-election. And those two stories reveal something important, a growing divide in British policy, not left versus right, but who's willing to admit failure and who isn't. For the first time in years, we're seeing politicians publicly say this: the Conservative Party broke the country. 14 years in government, and especially the last term, chaos, drifts, loss of public trust. Some people stay silent, others speak out, and paid the price. Figures who challenged the system internally warned things were going wrong, and in some cases were pushed out for doing so. And now they're turning up somewhere new, not pretending they were perfect, not claiming they did nothing wrong, but saying we failed and that's why we're here. And that's a very different political message. And here's the key difference. This isn't about welcoming everyone from the old establishment. Some figures are not being welcomed back. Not those who still say I did nothing wrong. Not those who oversaw records, immigration levels and still refuse to accept responsibility. Not those who were centre to the chaos and now want a political reset without accountability. Because without honesty, there is no reset. Now let's talk about Andy Burnham. If he's been allowed to stand in that by-election, many believe he would have won. Why? Because there's a massive anti-Starmer vote brewing across the country, and that matters because Keir Starmer is currently one of the most unpopular prime ministers in modern British history. Blocking Burnham didn't make that anger disappear, it just redirected it, and that frustration doesn't vanish, it moves. Like it or not, we're probably stuck with this government for a while, but that doesn't mean that the public mood is calm. It isn't. People feel unheard, ignored, managed rather than represented. And when that happens, politics doesn't explode overnight. It shifts quietly until suddenly it doesn't look the same anymore. And this isn't just about domestic politics. There's also growing concern internationally, especially from the United States. Not about Britain's loyalty, but about something far more important: our special forces, endless investigations, retrospective prosecutions, legal action decades after conflict. American officials are watching this closely because if Britain weakens its own elite military capability, it weakens the entire NATO partnership. And the uncomfortable truth is this: the UK cannot defend itself alone. Without American support, our national security simply isn't strong enough. That's not opinion, that's reality. Then there's immigration, and this is where politics become brutally simple. If someone is in the country illegally, they should not be here. That doesn't mean cruelty, that doesn't mean chaos, but it does mean enforcement. Because if the law isn't enforced, the system collapses. And when the system collapses, people lose trust, not just in government, but in democracy itself. That's why illegal immigration remains near the top of public concern, not because people are heartless, but because fairness matters. This isn't about the left versus the right anymore. It's about honesty versus denial, about admitting failure or pretending nothing went wrong. And British politics is entering a dangerous moment because when people stop believing the system listens, they stop playing by the rules, and that's when everything changes. Please subscribe for more, as it really helps my channel out as I'm pretty new. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.